Did you know that for the King of Kings, the crucifixion scene had to be reshot because a preview audience was offended at Jesus having a hairy chest? Before I get into what my thoughts were on King of Kings, I just want to wish everyone a safe and blessed Easter weekend. As you go into this weekend, take time to reflect on Jesus' sacrifice, his life, what it means to be a Christian, to be born again, and why we celebrate Easter and why it means so much to anyone who calls themselves Christians. So Angel Studios' King of Kings, it came out April of 2025. I've heard great things about it, and I learned some new things about Charles Dickens that I never knew. I didn't know that he even wrote a story about Jesus, the life of our Lord, which was written between 1846 and 1849. It wasn't published until 1934. 64 years after his death. It was a very private story that it was just meant for his kids. That already had me intrigued. Yeah, three things I liked about this movie, and my last thing is definitely my favorite. First thing I liked is the story and the pacing. The story, it's pretty simplified story. I mean, it's meant for kids, so Charles wanted his kids who were pretty young to understand Jesus, to understand his life, understand the Gospels, and, the simplicity of Christianity, honestly, because Christianity at its core is quite simple. I know a lot of people like to get theological with it, philosophical with it, but I like this movie that it basically does like Jesus' greatest hits. It doesn't cover every single miracle that we read about in the Gospels, but it hits on the most important ones I think that Charles Dickens would like his children to know about, and children watching this movie to know about, like the big ones that really made Jesus stand out. Really just showed his power. But also, this movie, being based on Charles Dickens' work, it really captures the merciful and the kind side of Jesus. I mean, Jesus has all sorts of sides, but this one really heavily focuses on how kind he is, how merciful he is. And the pacing was good. I mean, we just kind of kept moving from the birth of Christ to his resurrection. Covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time, which I love that. There wasn't any rushing through it. Like, it was all each miracle, each event. Enough time was dedicated to it so the kids watching, Charles Dickens' youngest son, could understand and not have a whole lot of questions. He would ask questions here and there, but it was mainly out of curiosity. He was just being inquisitive, like children are, pure, innocent, just asking the real questions, the honest questions that you would expect out of a child who's never heard the story of Jesus before. Second thing I liked, the creativity and the animation. Creativity, so it was told from Charles Dickens' viewpoint, but also then throughout the movie, you got the son. He was being integrated into the story, like he was actually like living in the story. The animation was gorgeous. I mean, the animation style is very different. It's unique, but it didn't bother me. I thought the thing that really made it beautiful was the colors. Very vibrant, but also like some really dark colors. The lighting was awesome. We got some high contrast. Really epic scenes at times. I really liked the scene where Jesus is out in the middle of the water, walking on water. That was really powerful to watch. And then the crucifixion scene as well. But then there's just some gorgeous scenery. It really did something to your soul when you watch it. Just the beauty of all of it. That goes in my third reason that I like this movie. The perspective. There was a couple moments in the movie where the perspective was shifted from Charles's point of view to all the peoples who were saved and healed. It was through their eyes, and they were looking at Jesus instead of like we would be seeing like the outside in. It's now the inside out. And then through Walter's eyes as well. There was one really cool scene I liked. Gave me chills where he's looking for his cat. His cat's running around the town, and it's during Palm Sunday, and you see Jesus pick up the cat, and is taking care of the cat, just showing like Jesus cares for all things, right? And then Jesus transforms into Walter's father, and I love the symbolism there. Like, Charles is somewhat a reflection of Jesus. He's trying to convey what a father-like figure would look like, a caring father would look like. So behind Charles is Jesus, the ultimate father, the ultimate care figure. So that was really, really beautiful. This movie actually made me tear up a few times. It takes a lot to get me emotional, but there were some moments in this movie that really hit deep. And the one I really just, man, it hit me when we're at Jesus being presented to the people. People end up choosing Barabbas over Jesus, as we know. Yeah, everyone's yelling free Barabbas, but then you have Walter. I mean, he's sobbing. He's saying free Jesus, like he's the only one in the entire crowd who sees Jesus for who he truly is. And that's what, like, it's that heartbreaking moment of, like, when a child finally understands why Jesus had to do what he had to do, it's like a light bulb just goes on and they finally, like, see the world a different way. They see life a different way. Man, this movie was so, so good. Like, I highly recommend check out King of Kings right now. It is on Peacock. See it. It will not disappoint you. It is a very beautiful movie to show your kids. Very beautiful movie as well for adults too. We all need that reminder of what Easter is about. So for King of Kings, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 Mudflaps. Remember, leave me a thumbs up and drop in the comments below. What's your favorite movie about Jesus? See you soon.